Hi, everybody. Welcome to Trial Alchemy. I'm Monty McIntyre, your host, and today I'm delighted to have as my guest Denise Taylor. Now, Denise is one of the two founding partners of Taylor DeMarco LLP in Los Angeles, and she has been for many years defending doctors, hospitals, and other healthcare professionals in medical and dental malpractice cases. She's tried or arbitrated over 150 cases and has special expertise in high exposure cases involving birth injuries and other catastrophic injuries. Denise is a diplomat of the American Board of Trial Advocates of BOTA. So without any further ado, Denise, thank you very much for joining me today and being a guest on this podcast.
Nice to be here, Monty. Well, I can tell you that without question, I have learned how to be a better trial lawyer from every loss. And I did lose, quote unquote, my seventh jury trial that I tried back in the 1980s. It was devastating for me.
Yeah.
Just devastating because as a young lawyer, I got trials assigned to me and I worked cases up that were defensible cases. And so I lost the case, and it was a wrongful death of a 30-year-old physical therapist. And it was a suicide. And I had the emergency room doctor. And the verdict was $11,036.
That's pretty low.
For example, the plaintiff's lawyer was a terrible examiner. And so I thought the appropriate thing to represent my client was to object to every single question.
Oh, yeah.
And so I objected. The judge was kind of a jerk. He would say things like overruled on that ground. And so then I started objecting, listing all the grounds I could think of, and then they all started getting sustained. Well, the jury afterwards thought there must be something to hide because I was objecting to everything.
Yep.
That was a huge lesson for me in that trial. But like I said, every time I've lost a case, I've learned something.
And I like your example of you learn about not objecting, because I think that, as a young lawyer, you're always scared to death that the other side's going to object and you won't get any questions in. But you learn pretty fast the jury can get pissed off if you're stopping the other side from telling their story. And really good experienced trial lawyers don't object very much.
Right. Probably around the time I tried that case, I tried a case as a second chair with one of my senior partners, David O'Keefe. And it was, who was just had the best reputation around in the day. This was in the 80s. And it was against a lawyer by the name of David Harney, who was the most prominent plaintiff's lawyer of the day. And it was a huge case. It was a case where, the plaintiff or I think he was the plaintiff. I don't think he died. He jumped out of a psych unit and became quadriplegic. And so I can remember sitting next to David, and I was like a, bag carrier, and David wasn't objecting. And I was nudging him, and I was sending him notes, object, and he wasn't objecting. He would wait until just the right moment, on like maybe the seventh or eighth objectionable question, and then he would stand and he would apologize, he would object. Everyone was sustained. And that, again, just observing there and being there in the moment taught me that same lesson about objecting. So because your initial reaction is always going to be to object.
Right. Well, there's another critical thing at trial, and these, objections, and are they sustained or overruled, really go to this, and that is when you're trying a case, you better have credibility with that jury. And what if you're objecting and you're getting too many of your objections overruled? You're going to start losing credibility.
Well, and also credibility with the judge, because I'm sure
Yeah,
the judge was sitting there thinking, why isn't he objecting just like I was?
right,
When he finally did, the judge had about enough and
right.
said, and sustained the objection. Want to keep credibility with the jury, and your relationship with the judge is part of that. And your making the jury believe that all you're looking for is that the truth will come out, and that you're not trying to hide any evidence is
Yeah.
very, very important.